Dr. Marcus Ellison had always dreamed of becoming a pediatrician. As a child growing up in South Carolina, he watched his younger sister, Simone, battle leukemia. The endless hospital visits, the beeping machines, and the cool antiseptic smell that clung to everything it all terrified him. But what he remembered most wasn't the fear. It was the calm, confident voice of one doctor who made Simone laugh even on her worst days. That doctor was black like Marcus, and in a place where few looked like them, that meant everything. Years later, after grueling years of study, long nights, and sacrifice, Marcus became that doctor. He was now 34, a respected pediatric specialist at Ridgeway Children's Hospital in Atlanta. He was soft-spoken, known for his patience, and often stayed late just to read one more story to a sick child. His colleagues adored him. Parents trusted him. Children clung to him. In many ways, he was living his dream, but dreams, as Marcus would learn, can shatter in seconds. It was a Tuesday afternoon, bright, clear skies, and unusually quiet in the children's oncology ward. Marcus was finishing up rounds. He'd promised little Ava Jackson, a brave 6-year-old battling neuroblastoma, that he'd come back after lunch to take her to the rooftop garden. She loved the butterflies there. When he returned, Ava was waiting, her tiny hand already outstretched. "I want the purple wheelchair today," she declared. Marcus chuckled. "Purple it is, princess." He wheeled her through the hallway, past smiling nurses and colorful murals, into the elevator. They laughed about silly names for butterflies, glitter bugs, flutter muffins, rainbow bees. For Marcus, it was the best part of the job, bringing joy to a child in pain. But when the elevator doors opened on the rooftop, 2 security guards were waiting. "Sir, we need you to come with us." Marcus frowned. "Why? Is something wrong?" "Please don't make this difficult," one of them said, his hand already on the radio clipped to his shoulder. "We've had a report." Ava looked up at Marcus, confused. "Dr. Ellison? What's happening?" "Everything's fine, sweetheart," he said, trying to keep his voice calm. "Let's just—" Before he could finish, one of the guards stepped forward and gripped the wheelchair handles, pulling it back. The other reached for Marcus's arm. "Don't touch me," Marcus said, his voice firm now. "What exactly is going on?" The guard's expression hardened. "We received a call from a visitor on the 3rd floor. A black male was seen wheeling a child out of the oncology wing. She didn't recognize you and said the child looked distressed." Marcus's stomach dropped. "I'm Dr. Marcus Ellison. I've worked here for 8 years. Ava is my patient." The guards didn't blink. One pulled out his radio. "Suspect is resisting. Advise backup." That word suspect hung in the air like a slap. Within moments, 2 more guards appeared, and then a nurse Jasmine ran up the stairwell, panting. "What the hell is going on?" she demanded. "That's Dr. Ellison." But the damage was done. Patients had seen. Staff had seen. Ava was now crying, confused and afraid. And Dr. Marcus Ellison, Harvard graduate, board-certified pediatrician, beloved by dozens of children, stood humiliated and trembling on a hospital rooftop. Marcus was eventually cleared, of course. Hospital administration issued a half-hearted apology, citing protocols and miscommunication. The visitor who called in was never named. "Better safe than sorry," someone whispered in the staff break room. But Marcus felt different after that day. He returned to work because the children needed him. Ava ran to him the next morning, holding a drawing, a picture of the 2 of them in the butterfly garden, her way of making it right. But something inside Marcus had shifted. Every time he walked the halls, he felt eyes linger just a second too long. Every time he took a child's hand, a shadow of suspicion crept into the back of his mind. He began to speak out, quietly at first at staff meetings, on hospital diversity boards. Then louder. He gave interviews, shared his story at medical schools, wrote an op-ed in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. He wasn't looking for pity. He wanted awareness. "I wasn't seen as a doctor," he wrote. "I was seen as a black man with a child. And that was enough." He spoke about implicit bias, how it hides behind good intentions, how even in places of healing, prejudice can do harm, how people like him no matter how educated or accomplished, are not immune to suspicion. 1 year later, Ridgeway Children's Hospital implemented new training protocols. Staff were taught to recognize their biases. Security was retrained. Visitors were educated on hospital policy. It wasn't perfect, but it was a start. Dr. Ellison still works there. He still reads stories, still chases butterflies with the children, still teaches medical students who now see him not just as a physician, but as a leader and a voice for change. And Ava? She's in remission. She visits the hospital, sometimes to volunteer in the playroom. Every time she sees Dr. Ellison, she calls out, "That's my doctor, the best in the whole world." Racism doesn't always come with slurs or violence. Sometimes it wears a badge. Sometimes it wears a smile. But it always leaves a mark. Let Dr. Marcus Ellison's story remind us, we don't just need good doctors. We need a system that sees them clearly. Because dignity shouldn't be mistaken. And no child should watch their hero be treated like a criminal. If this story moved you, share it. Let's keep talking about what equity really means, especially in the places meant to heal. Subscribe for more powerful true stories that make you think and feel.